560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
the 3-time sexiest man in Millington, Johnny Harden.
Light me up, y'all. It is a Friday, and it is oh my goodness, can you believe it finally got here Friday? It is, and it's happy hour time already. We've already had Peter, CJ. We've had Zach, Rack City on for pretty much from 7 o'clock till just now. Gabe's in the house. He's going to drive all day with me. And then, of course, sports time when Wolo and Stats come up. We're chilling out here in the Family Leisure Studio where family and fun come together. 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. And we've got a jam-packed show for you. His brother, the man, the myth. Now, Gabe is a producer. He is a journalist. He has the degrees. He has all of that stuff. But his brother, Alex... I mean, no, Gabe is one of the smartest young men I've ever. Where
are you going with this? I need to know where you're going with this.
I didn't want this to come across rude. I was just going to say the journalist of the family was going to be on later on, and then I thought to myself, dang, that's going to sound bad to a guy who's really big and could put me in a pretzel. And I wouldn't mean it. You know what I'm saying? You know, before you say something, it's like, this isn't going to sound right. But his brother, the journalist, and they're both journalists. Gabe played football here at Memphis. He's awesome. You know him at G_Coon71. Make sure you listen to his brother today. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We got a whole lot of stuff to get into. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in Iowa. He's close to Iowa. We got.
I think you need to stress a lot of stuff going on in Iowa this morning. There's a lot of former players gathering up with their families to form a class action lawsuit against the coaches and the athletic department at the University of Iowa.
And one of the things I just want to ask, and I'm going to wait till then, I'm going to let both of y'all talk. I never, when this Kurt Ferentz stuff came out at first, I did not know the Iowa stuff would grow to this large, but I had a small fear, and Gabe will tell you, how scared was I to talk about this on air?
Very. And I get why, because you didn't know the full details of it. You didn't know what was said. And you got to understand, these guys have been there for 20-plus years.
Exactly.
They have a good track record as far as the college football community goes.
That's what was so hard for me. How can Kurt be there 22 years he's been the head coach there? And everybody talks about him like this. So, again, I literally had to sit back, talk to people who are around there. And the cool thing is, Gabe's brother at the bottom of this hour is going to come on. We're going to talk about Iowa football. We're going to talk about all kinds of things when it comes to football. And just a little football news, by the way. Y'all know that this is a very big thing. The NCAA, for all you football fans, they have approved a 6 weeks practice plan. It's been passed by all Division I schools, all councils, all athletic directors. It's waiting on one thing. What do you think it's waiting on, Gabe? Starts with an M, ends with an E, and I call him an a-hole. Mark Emmert.
Emmert. It's E-M-M-E-R-T. It does not start with an M.
Mark. I thought his first name was Mark.
I see. That was confusing.
No, I'm confused. I just say it Emmert, yes. NCAA commissioner. He's got to talk about it. It's the NCAA who has to approve it. But literally, when you get every single person, like all, how many times do you get every Division I school to agree on anything? Very rarely. When you got every Division I school, it says every Division I school, every Division I school council, and all athletic directors have approved a 6 weeks practice proposal and plan that involves COVID-19 safety, social, it's got a whole list of stuff that they have to do, which we'll talk about John Harbaugh because some of these things sound impossible. But the NCAA is waiting for the signature. If this gets signed, sounds like we're going to have college football practice coming back pretty soon. So it'll be pretty interesting. I just wanted to put that back out there.
What was the date? Was it July 5th, July 13th? It's somewhere in the middle of July is what I saw.
It's in the middle of July.
It's sort of an aim date.
It back. Remember, it was going to be like the June 8th, remember? And then it's been pushed back 2 weeks, and then it was pushed back to July. So, again, I hate putting a number out there because it feels like every time we put a number out there, they're pushing it back. But they want 6 weeks of practices before any time of play, et cetera, et cetera. They have approved it. We got a lot to talk about with Alex when it comes to Iowa. we have a lot of football to talk about when it comes to the NFL. Roger Goodell, the Juneteenth thing that he talked about. We got Myles Garrett, who's talking about a mega extension. I want to know, everybody knows Ed Stefanski. Do you know Kevin Stefanski, the coach of the Browns? Well, he's coaching in one heck of a division with like Mike Tomlin, Mr. Harbaugh, John Don't Play. Tough division. We're going to talk about that, and then we're also going to talk about the National Football League. And if you really look at it, the way they keep pushing back these practices, the teams like Tom Brady, like teams like the Bucs that just added a bunch of new pieces, I feel like are going to be behind the 8 ball. The teams that actually have more continuity, actually teams that might not look as good on paper like Pittsburgh, but had a bad defense last year and is getting Ben Roethlisberger back and has a culture that Mike Tomlin has built. Teams like that, Drew Brees being older in New Orleans, knowing his receivers and his groups where they're going to be. Teams that have not had people move. I think they're going to have an extreme advantage. I think coaching staffs that have been in place for a long time are going to have an extreme advantage. And I think it's fascinating talking about the NFL in that way. So we'll talk about that. We got so many things to talk about. My friend Rob Brown is going to join us. He starts Sidelines. It's 8 to 10 every single Saturday. He does everything from, he's got Dennis Dodd on tomorrow. He's going to have everything from SEC football. Anything that you can think of, it's going to cover. Tommy Tuberville is going to join him as well. So Sidelines tomorrow. It's going to be 8 to 10 right here on Sports 56. He's going to join us at 1:50 for 10 minutes. We got Hardwood. We got so many things, but I didn't think I was going to lead off with this. Gabe Kuhn, we got to talk about a governor, right?
We sure do. So we remember when the name, image, likeness sort of debate was centered around California, and when Governor Newsom decided to sign a bill that would allow players to make money off their name, image, likeness, and endorsements in 2023. Mm-hmm. So that was then. This morning, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill that will allow student athletes to make money off their name, image, likeness, and get this, July of 2021. A year from today, more or less.
Say, it's not even a year. It's less than a year. It's
basically.
No, it's a little over. It's a year and a half. Whatever. I am in 2020. this whole year stinks.
June is before July.
I'm just ready to get
June
through
is
it.
before July.
You're right.
We gotta get that.
You're right. You're better at the months. I always have to count them on my fingers.
But the hope here is that the NCAA makes a move before then, I guess. But the chances of them getting it done in a little over a year, do you buy any of that?
I don't buy anything about the NCAA. I've already told you I don't even think they know what they're doing. I find it absolutely hilarious that 100 and some odd, 120 plus teams can all get councils, get together and agree on something, and then all they're waiting for is the NCAA to sign it. And that's, been something that's even something they're trying to, a hurdle they're trying to get over. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that's going on that's crazy. We also got to talk about Duke, which we will in the leadoff, but it's fascinating with the DeSantis comment, with what Duke said, all the stuff that's going on basically in the country. It is, I think today's going to be a really wild and fun Friday leading into the weekend.
Your days and months, man. You are.
Dude, I'm ready to party tomorrow. I was just talking about my man
it's
Brown
Friday.
Tomorrow. It is Friday, baby.
Mine moving a mile a minute, huh?
Dude, are you kidding me? Looking at all this stuff from players and getting hesitant about the NBA to MLB and their BS new thing they sent to the Major League Baseball Players Association. Oh, it's so crazy. But it is time for the leadoff.
So where else do we start off besides with some Memphis Tigers? I have to start here. So they announced yesterday that they will host Mississippi State in 2028 in football and then visit the Bulldogs in 2029 in a new home-and-home series. I just want to ask, you being a Memphis guy, being a Memphis guy, what other football home-and-homes would you be interested in seeing for the Tigers?
Easiest one off the bat, of course, is we've always wanted to get the Vols football back from way back in the day, the state rivalry, something of that. That's the easiest and most, that's the one that's talked about, I think, with most fans. Would you not agree?
Absolutely, but the chances of that happening, we have seen, are very, very, very low.
No, that's why I kind of am not excited even when I'm talking to you about it. I'm like, it's the most obvious, but it's nil to none. What about Arkansas? We are Mid-South, West Memphis, Arkansas, Memphis, Mississippi. We're all right here together. It's like, bam, we're going to play Mississippi State. Not till, 2028, man?
I believe they have a home and home before that, but 2028 is the new one that they've added.
Yeah. They added a new one in 2028. But what I'm saying is, I know it sounds kind of weird, but look, Arkansas is still in the Southeastern Conference, and yes, they're at the bottom, but they're trying to rebuild. And I think that these, Memphis and Arkansas, believe it or not, recruit the same type of kid. I actually think it's fair. I think it makes sense. And I think it would fill up both people's stadium. And I really do truly believe it would kind of light a little bit of excitement about the Memphis, West Memphis kind of back and forth that most people don't even see.
So here's the question. Do you personally, picking out of the SEC to you for a home and home is one of the only options when you're talking about a series, a home and home series like this?
Sadly, you know what? First thing I think is absolutely unequivocally SEC. Always. I know what we did with the Pac-12 back in the day. I didn't like how they had to go. Y'all had to go all the way across the country. Very beginning of the year. I
got to say, by the way, that UCLA, you get there. We had a 7 o'clock, play time. We got done there at like 11. Ended up getting back in Memphis at like 5 a.m. That was not fun. But the game itself,
awesome.
The experience, awesome.
But do you think that kind of, because of that start, that long game, I almost feel like it slowed y'all's progression down a little bit? Because was it that the year y'all went on that 7-game win streak?
It was.
So as good as y'all played in that game, I felt like it took you a little time to overcome that huge road trip all the way across the country and getting back. And then also, people forget they are college students and have classes and got to deal with teachers who are not all that nice. And some of them love ball players. Some of them can't stand them, and you know that.
I think as far as Arkansas goes, that's one of the better sort of close home and homes that Memphis could sort of get on, in regards to sort of regional opponents, and I think that's a good thought.
I think it would be, and also the other reason I want to bring it up, Arkansas, as bad as they are, I don't think they're going to be there forever. Memphis was the worst team in the country. They aren't going to be there forever. Look where they've come. I believe they have turned the corner. I believe eventually Arkansas will do the same. It's almost like they could have, Memphis had a comeuppance before them, but it's almost kind of like they could help each other. So I dig it. Tell me what
could be reciprocal. Could be reciprocal.
67129. Tell me what you think. What you got next, Gabe?
Moving on to some NFL. John Harbaugh on the NFL safety protocols. The NFL sent out a memo.
It's impossible.
And what he said, I've seen all the memos, and to be quite honest with you, it's impossible what they're asking us to do. Humanly impossible. I'm pretty sure the huddle is not going to be 6 feet spaced. Are guys going to shower one at a time all day? Are guys going to lift weights one at a time all day?
Depends on if you're in high school.
These are things the league and the Players Association need to get a handle on and need to get agreed upon with some common sense so we can operate in a 13-hour day in training camp that they're giving us and get our work done. A lot of these things in the memo were very interesting considering how close a football team needs to be, right? Being able to hit each other when they're in the huddle, when they're working out. I think they had
sweating.
Player limits, 20 players in a meeting.
Cafeteria.
They have to have the limit is 20 players in a meeting as long as they're socially distant, and then 15 players in a weight room at a time. And I'm just curious, have we downplayed how hard football is going to be to get started?
You know what? We haven't just downplayed it in football, Gabe. We've downplayed it as a country who's been very going through a lot emotionally. The nightly news is a nightmare. People are struggling emotionally, and that outlet has been for so long sports. And we just have accepted that, damn it, when we have a problem in this country after 9/11, Bush throwing out the first pitch, I didn't say the country healed, but it was a start. Do you know what I mean? It's like right now with all the injustice and racial injustice and the things that are going on in the country, it feels like we need sports to start that step towards the healing process. Not forget anything we learned, no, but start to heal and move forward. Because, you can only yell and scream at each other before you actually start making progress. And that's hopefully when we get sports back together. But we as fans, journalists, media, people covering them, and even the Rob Manfred My man, basically anybody who is running, and I don't even want to give Mark Emmert a little bit of love, but Roger Goodell, even over at the NFL, I think all these people thought that it was going to be easier. I thought also the NFL, the way they put all these plans and testing in place, and the fact that they felt like they were last, they had a heck of advantage. They thought for sure baseball would be going on right now, and we'd have this huge testing ground. Well, guess what? Baseball's not going on. I disagree with I agree with Eli. The word bullied is probably the wrong term to talk about millionaires. But again, I can't stand the billionaires fighting with the millionaires. And I will tell you, today, the Major League Baseball did send over, in my personal opinion, I would send back the middle finger. It was a slap in the face. It's a 15% slider in pay from the proposal they had the other day. So just so you understand, math people, if you were making $1 million, you're making $150,000 less than you were just the other day with the agreement they were going to send you. Did you think they're really asking you to sign it? Hell no. So I'm just saying, I don't think that the players think it's going to be easy. Basketball, which is agreed on everything, basketball looks like they've been the forefront, and then all of a sudden Carmelo says something. And now you turn on TV and you got some players are hesitant on restarting in a bubble environment. Other players want to get rid of what? Why have all these teams fighting for an 8 seed, which has to play a 1 seed, and bringing in all these extra bodies? Is the risk worth the reward? Then the other one that I've heard that I didn't even hear till today, and you know what it made me think of? Do you remember the Battle of the Ring where they took – see, I'm not a wrestling fan. Didn't know this until I've been sitting at home under quarantine. I watched some wrestling thing, and they took a bunch of wrestlers back in the day, and who are wrestlers? It's fake. They put boxing gloves on them. They put them into the ring to box, and literally every wrestler, like, pulled his hamstring, tore an ACL, they never wrestled again. They destroyed their careers because of that stupid thing. And a bunch of guys came out and said, I don't know if I'm physically going to be at my top performance. And if it's a free agent year and I get injured, how much money could it cost me in the long run? I don't know if it's that or also they're scared of their family. The whole thing, all these players that have agreed to it, now that they're starting to step back because it gets a little bit closer, when they ask you to go in that bubble with the coronavirus going down, it does get a little bit scary.
Without question. Now it's time for Duke AD, Kevin White. I have a quote I'm going to read by Kevin White. Starts like this. Along with my colleague and friend Bubba Cunningham of the University of North Carolina, I am concerned about potential complications attendant upon the actual implications of the name, image, likeness legislation. How will it impact recruiting? Will it create an open marketplace in which institutions solicit businesses or boosters to offer ever-escalating endorsement deals to a star high school quarterback or point guard? Will resources from equipment, apparel, and shoe companies be redirected to a relatively few individuals rather than being shared equally among lesser-known but no less valuable Olympic sports? Now, obviously, that whole quote is just sort of expressing his concern about the potential name, image, likeness legislation and unfair recruiting advantage that might result because of it. And I want to ask you, should he be as worried as he is?
Can I answer the question differently?
Go ahead.
I think Kevin White is, one, a liar, and I think he's I wouldn't say a liar, I think he's tone deaf. Maybe not tone deaf, but actually I'm not going to say a liar or tone deaf. I think he sees what he's protecting, and that's his money in his mind. He doesn't want to pay their players fair value market. This, in his opinion, should be redirected to who? Presidents, Coach K, him, athletic directors. They are trying to do everything but be equal, resourceful, and fair and equitable to what we call our sports athletes, or our, what do we call them? I can't even remember. Athletics or student athletes. I call them sports athletes. They are. They're student athletes, but they're really just sports students.
In my first question, though, okay, Kevin White, you're the guy here at Duke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't y'all caught up right now with the Zion Williams
Zion,
thing? Weren't y'all? Wasn't y'all's basketball coach supposedly at this point using Nike and Adidas to grab recruits?
What about the Olympic basketball?
You talk about fair, but what's fair about it right now? I don't understand the thought process of himself coming out and saying this, because he uses unfair advantage as is right now. So I think it is tone deaf. I agree completely.
It's so tone deaf, but this is the one thing that he tried to put out, that I think he tried to put out to pretend he wasn't tone deaf and that he was smart. He said, how unfair would it be if somebody comes to Duke, an institution that has just got a built-in brand? A person at Duke is probably worth $1.3 million according to the INFLCR firm that he hired to do an adjustment, while somebody like Bo Nix, well, he'd be at Auburn, their highest paid football player, at $3,500 for every social media tweet. Would that be fair to Auburn's player? Because I know they care about Auburn. But then again, to talk about how unfair it would be for those players to come to Duke and be on average of $400,000 by just being a Duke basketball player. So where does he want that money to come to? Probably him. And then the last thing I wanted to say, it's fun to play these things on a big stage and these theories, but the financial implications are serious. Hell yeah, they're serious. Like, they are serious. Like, that's what we're talking about. And Duke, if anybody gets an unfair advantage, it is Duke, and it is Coach K, and all the stuff that's going on with Zion. It's insanity. But you know what? I got to get to other insanity. Iowa. I got to get to the other other Gabe Kuhn, Mr. Alex Kuhn. I can't believe I called it. I mixed those.
You called him a goob. But yeah. Real quick, on the text line, we have someone chiming in saying Arkansas is playing at the Liberty Bowl in 2025. We were talking, and this is not anything that I expected anybody on the text line to know, but that's a 2-for-1. We were talking about home and homes. That's what we were talking about.
Yes. How cool would that be for them to come here and go there? But thank you very much, Texter. And you are also very correct as well on that. But you know what? Coming up next, my good friend Alex Kuhn. We got to get deep up in Iowa. We got to get deep up in baseball. We got to talk what's going on with sports. So don't touch that dial. This is Sports 56, brought to you by my good friend Chad Gatlin at MemphisFarmers.com. If you can trust anybody, you can trust my friend Chad. Check him out at MemphisFarmers.com. 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, right? Not what your roommates or family are listening to. Now is the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds. Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds, the best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable noise-isolating fit. It's great for conference calls, video chats, or binging on podcasts. I do that too. It was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. Now's your turn. See what the hype's about. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/herd. That's buyraycon.com/herd. 15% off. One more time. buyraycon.com/herd.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, I'm Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Five-Ash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Five-Ash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you. Foot odor throwing off your game? Stick to a winning game plan with Odor Eaters. Featuring 3 advanced odor and wetness fighters, the lineup provides long-lasting odor control plus more to keep your feet on their game. Odor Eaters powder provides outstanding moisture control. Clear drying spray is the MVP in preventing athlete's foot, while insoles work continuously to manage wetness while adding a layer of comfort. Pick up today at Walmart, Target, CVS, Dollar General, or other fine retailers. Odor Eaters. Destroy foot odor with the best in odor defense.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
For if we don't find the next whiskey bar. My texter at 67129 is about to freak out. He just texted me, wait, what? Did you say wrestling was fake? No! No, that was funny. What I was trying to compare was just today's athlete. Actually, I know they're concerned over COVID, and they're concerned over a lot of things, but some of them are concerned that they won't be at full physical peak to go out there and compete against the greatest athletes of the world. It's a free agent year. Maybe you have an AC tear. Maybe you do something like Kevin Durant blowing Achilles. Who knows what can happen? But then next thing you know, you have an injury because you're down in this bubble. You're not in the best shape of your life. Then you get injured. You don't cash in that big check. There's just a lot of things that are going around that all this lovey, happy feeling around basketball just in the last, I'd say, 48 hours, since yesterday, really, actually, since I saw Melo, the great lovey feeling that they are going to be in this bubble and we're going to see basketball in July and it's going to happen. And heck, they moved it up from the 31st to the 30th, remember? We're getting basketball. But now we're starting to get scared about, hey, why are we fighting so hard for a 8 spot so they can play a 1? Very interesting stuff. All sports are finding themselves in a little bit of trouble. But, man, there's one program out there, Iowa, that I didn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole until I talked to somebody that I unequivocally felt knows the situation, has been around the situation, gets the situation, talks to a lot of people, and he's been up there dealing with it all week on his own show and taking care of his own life. But that's my good friend on Twitter, at Alex Kuhn, just like Gabe, Kuhn 523. That's at Alex, Kuhn 523. Check him out, and he's going to join us right now. Now, I got to talk to Alex because, Alex, how's life with you, man? You've been having interesting stuff on Twitter going on this week.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week for sure. I never thought that I would see this football program in particular so uncontroversial for 22 years, or really 40 years over the last two coaches.
But it was a forced uncontroversial. I mean, when you look at it.
Yeah, it was
even if it's forced,
because they had no they had no Twitter availability. They wouldn't let them send out tweets. Like, they almost forced it to be uncontroversial, it seems.
And then this whole movement happened, and it seems like
wow,
more than 50 black players have come out and claimed that there was some sort of racial discrimination or bias based on race going on in the program, and then other stories are being dug up about abuse by the highest paid strength coach in the country, Chris Doyle.
Yeah,
and it is right now and a flat out disaster, and I still don't think everybody shared their story yet.
Oh, really? You still think that some of this stuff is going to come, don't you?
I do.
You think that you don't think that Iowa's really, like, you don't think the Chris Doyle, Kurt Ferentz going on Twitter last week, some of the people coming out, like, you think that this is actually realistically The pendulum hasn't fallen. It hadn't swung. It's just starting to come down.
Well, yeah, there was a story last night by Mark Morehouse of the Cedar Rapids Gazette that several players have hired a law firm in order to explore their options in taking legal action against the program. I'm sure we would, at that point, get more stories. But the people are asking my opinion so far on what I've seen. And the thing that I can't help but do is look at the claims that some of these players are making and ask myself, does that make sense or does that not make sense? And I think a lot of these things is going to be very difficult to prove. Like Darrell Johnson-Koulianos, the all-time leading receiver, claims that Kirk Ferentz orchestrated a drug bust at his house that ended his career. I don't know if anybody's ever going to...
Now, can I just tell you something? This I saw, and you're about to say something that I kind of disagree with. And I think you're about to say is, I don't know how we can actually prove into that. That seems like one of those things that almost would be the easiest thing to look into. One, go over to the district attorney. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to, you get your attorneys for these people. You get these. They go into a closed bar situation. They look at it and say, okay, who was the confidential and sources? Why did the drug bust take place? Where did the information come from? And if it really did, I mean, you see what I'm saying? This is the one thing I would think that somebody's got somebody's notes on
There's
why
some
the
record
hell
of it.
they rated. You know what I mean? This is something I thought would have been one of those things that if I was a journalist up in there, I'd be all up in the police department finding out, all right, who was the officers that arrested them? Who was the the officer in charge? Who's their confidential sources? Yada, yada, yada. I'd be all up in that junk.
Yeah, the Freedom of Information Act filings have been made for much less consequential things than that, for sure. But
for sure.
The thing that, as I said, you look at this and there's a lot of circumstantial things where it's caused me to think twice. It's caused me to go back and look at things. And first of all, it's very simple. The allegations against the strength coach, Chris Doyle, and the abuse. Well, without hearing any of these stories, we do know that one of the workouts that Chris Doyle administered in 2011 sent 13 players to the hospital with rhabdomyolysis.
I didn't know that.
A disease that comes from extra strenuous workouts that has the potential to kill you. And cause liver or I believe kidney failure.
So
and 13 players went.
With those allegations and with sort of the response of what Chris Doyle put out in his statement, you look at it, and he didn't apologize at all.
No, he
said and in fact, he said he never crossed the line. Has Chris Doyle put him in a position where he could easily either be fired or have to resign?
I thought that the statement that he made, where it was funny. Go look on Twitter. You can find him on Twitter at Chris Doyle. He releases a statement. The first 3 paragraphs are pretty good.
Yeah, they start off very well. I remember that.
And then the 4th paragraph, I'm sort of paraphrasing here, but he says that he's never crossed the line either behaviorally or racially. And if he just would have said racially, I don't know. Maybe there's some benefit of the doubt there, although, okay, Chris, or dozens of players lying? Or is that what you're saying?
I mean, how many players is it? Ballpark number, 30?
Over 50.
Over 50.
Over
now,
50.
Yeah.
But basically the statement, when I read it, he's telling them they're all full of it, right? That's what it seems like.
Yes.
But he also is lying to our face because he's never crossed the line behaviorally. Well, one of your workouts, as I mentioned, sent 13 players to the hospital. That is crossing a line behaviorally.
That's like Mike Loxley, who has a job at Maryland's, leaking you know what DJ Durkin did? Man, goodness gracious.
Right. And the other thing that is very interesting, circumstantially, is Darrell Johnson-Koulianos, DJK as he was known, said that Doyle and Kirk didn't like star players. They didn't like the flashy, big recruit, guy with a lot of hype, big following coming out of high school, which is exactly what DJK was. And he said that they would take playing time away from him every now and again, and Kirk would say things to him like, I just got a contract extension. This is your last year. I don't really need to play you. He'd say things like that. And once again, I'm not presuming guilt or innocence, but I'm looking back at the recent history of Iowa football, and in the last 2 to 3 years, there have been big stories in Iowa City. You guys know who Noah Fant is, the number 12 pick of the Denver Broncos, starting at tight end. He would mysteriously disappear from games, and the media would be asking Kirk, well, why is he not out there? And he'd make these very, very strange excuses as to why he wasn't playing one of his best players in crunch time. And I know for a fact that another player in A.J. Epinesa from the St. Louis area, a 5-star recruit, he felt that his time at Iowa was manipulated. He didn't start until his junior year, even though I believe he led the team in sacks his first 2 seasons, playing about 35% of the snaps. So I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, that would certainly add up, but I don't know if circumstantial evidence like that holds up in the court of law.
Interesting. I'm not smart enough because I'm definitely not a lawyer, but I wanted to ask you one thing also, because Kirk Ferentz has been there literally 22 seasons. And as you look through it, he was way back, 2002, they were tied for first in the Big Ten. They also did that back in 2004. That year they lost in the Orange Bowl back in 2002 to USC, got killed actually. But then, 2004, they, won the Capital Bowl, beat LSU. What a great season. You realistically look after that. I mean, it's a whole lot of 7-5, 6-7, 6-6, 9-4, 8-5, 7. You know what I mean?
He also has the best contract in college. His job security is
That's
ridiculous.
What I was saying. It's like everybody, and this is what I wanted to ask, kind of, and I'm beating around the bush. If Iowa is Iowa a school that just wants to keep everything the status quo? And you know what? If 8-5 is the status quo in Big Ten, but we get to have what they call them, the country cornbread fed, and we have everybody who no I-in team, they don't have any of that. Is it just like a culture where they don't want anybody to put themselves above the Iowa Hawkeye quote? And again, the thing that's sad for me about this is, yes, third in the Big Ten, 8-5, and maybe you win a Pinstripe Bowl or a Outback Bowl. Congratulations. Not bad in all actuality. But the one thing that they do have, which is the greatest thing in college football, is the Children's Hospital. Like the way they open up that. And for me, I hate to say this has taken away more of that shine than anything. And that was the first thing I thought about, because I've always associated Iowa, Kirk Ferentz, its players, with straight up love and all of their fans to these sick children up there. Makes me think of Memphis and St. Jude. I don't know. So this is where I guess it's even bothered me more. Like, how can you put on a picture of, hey, we are great for kids, we are great for everybody, but then you read the Akram story, or then you read this story, or then you remember Robert Gallagher having long hair to here, but nobody else could have long hair, or you couldn't tweet, just to hear out some of these things. And then, of course, listening to, Chris is just so full of himself, that strength close. I can't stand Doyle already, but Ferentz comes across, is it just that he's so good at being cool, calm, and collected, or is he like, or does he really not know?
I think he is one of the best in the country at using words to really not say much.
He is good at that.
He's great at it.
A lot of coach speak.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's been so buttoned up, and Gabe, you're going to understand this as well. College football for a long time has had that motto, like, keep everything behind closed doors. They don't let you into practice. They don't want to see how you're actually coaching your kids. They don't want you to get a peek behind the curtain. And I'm not saying that every coach or every college has racial issues, but what I'm saying is I think that Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa program for so long wanted to have that buttoned up image, and that's just that was the most important thing for them. Like they won games, they'd win 7, 8, 9 games. I believe they won 10 games They won 10 games last year. But I always
they went 10-3 last year. They won the Holiday Bowl and beat USC 49-24.
I objectively looked at them and I'd say something's missing. Like they're very robotic. They haven't here. Listen to this statistic and tell me if this doesn't make sense with what we're talking about. They have not had a wide receiver from the University of Iowa catch a pass in the NFL in a regular season game since 2003.
Antoine Randall L?
It was Kevin Castro.
No, I'm just kidding.
Did Antoine Randall L even go to Iowa?
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
Indiana. He went to Indiana.
And he went to Indiana. That's what it was. I was trying to think.
Big Ten.
It was a Big Ten.
Yeah, he went to Indiana. So I'm just saying
that's
that
horrible.
You look at these things and you're like, okay, well, what was missing this whole time? What was going on? And you never wanted to go the conspiracy theory route that, oh, well, maybe Kirk has a problem with big time players, with big time recruits. Well, I mean, the evidence right now is making it at least a compelling argument that it is possible that has been the case.
The thing is, though, Alex, with that, it seems like he likes to put those guys that come in as walk-ons and then work their butt off and end up huge and end up starting guards in the NFL. It seems like he likes to show them off, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a weird – he likes this blue-collar mentality, and it seems like a lot of those guys that are really good at that school, that do well from start to finish, that are scholarship athletes, don't really get the love that they deserve. And I think that's the interesting part of it.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, you use the word blue collar. That's interesting because alleged that Kirk Ferentz used that in talking about whether it was Darrell Johnson-Koulianos, Akram Wadley speaking to the media. And I remember interviewing Akram Wadley, and he's a very funny, engaging guy. And I remember him being a breath of fresh air when every Tuesday we go talk to these players, and it's like they're robots. Like they're scared to say anything. And I asked his mom, because DJK, Darrell Johnson-Koulianos, claimed that was used against him as well. I asked Akram Wadley's mom, do you believe that it was held against him? And she said absolutely. And there are former players that say that when they were brought in, that they need to be more, quote, blue collar. They need to act more blue collar. You need to follow the, quote, Iowa way. And I think they definitely took exception to that.
Does that and I don't want to do it like to make people just mad, but I want to know something. If I think about this, I think of the best Iowa players in the National Football. First of all, I think of George Kittle. Like, how could you not? And then what about Brian Bulaga? A
lot of linemen.
Yeah, a lot of big dudes. And if they're passing catches,
Brandon
it does
Sheriff.
seem like they're Brandon Sheriff, Desmond King. You mentioned him, I think, earlier. Heck, that's the only dude I don't think that was not white I've mentioned so far. What I'm trying to say is I do see what you're saying. It does feel like, and again, I understand why football coaches might want people who fall in line. I've heard about that military style. But do you want to know something? Again, I've also talked to like Coach Shabazz here in Memphis about like even reverse racism. Maybe like you got some coaches who don't want a guy who thinks for himself or is, quote, comes from a certain neighborhood or has dreadlocks, or maybe some people don't want the young superstar athlete who actually might be a white kid who thinks for himself and might actually disagree with some of the maybe military tactics. It's weird how just of late, and even me and Gabe Kuhn have had this, and I want to ask you, is the old way of coaching, is that the problem also with Kirk Ferentz? And
yes.
A lot of these is because winning for me, it was whatever is necessary. I heard that so many times when I was a kid. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. You do whatever you got to do. It's all about the win. And that started when I was 5 damn years old. And that's ridiculous. Are we finally coming to a thing or to a part in the world that, you know what, maybe we should actually care about these children, try to make them good men, make them good fathers, help them get an education, do a lot of things, and then just try to control them in their speech on Twitter?
Well, see, and this is the point right here. Thank you for bringing this up, John. There's this idea out there, I think, among the old school coaching crowd that you have to be abusive to be a good coach. And
I've learned
I know great coaches out there that care about their players, that love their players, and also are extremely hard on their players. Those two things are not even the same, but for the longest time, we're having this discussion like you have to. Oh, well, that's just the way it is. Oh, well, DJ Durkin killed a kid with or his program at Maryland killed a kid with their summer workouts. Well, it's just hard coaching. Some people would say, no. I think this is the point where the coaching profession and a lot of these coaches out there should feel uncomfortable, because there is nowhere in the manual that says that you have to be a crappy person. And I look at the University of now, and they have a head coach that is the picture of what I think coaches are going to be like moving forward. A guy who can be tough on his players, a guy that is fair, and a guy that cares about every single player on that roster. And I've gotten to peek behind the curtain, of course. I have a younger brother who played 5 years of college football, and he has friends who played college football elsewhere, and you kind of get a sample of what this whole landscape looks like. And I don't think that I think there are a lot of coaches out there that kind of handpick who they want to like, who are going to be their golden boys, and just sort of throw everybody else's interest to the wind.
Man,
and that's not good.
I'm going to tell you something. We're going to have to move you to twos on Friday, because I could talk
so
to
we can
Alex.
have a longer conversation.
Yeah, we got to have a longer conversation. I could talk to you about 10 more things, and I never even got to baseball, Alex. But I want everybody out there at Alex Kuhn 523. Check him out and make sure every Friday we do this, because we're moving him to 2 o'clock because we got to have more time.
Alex, you said you didn't get to MLB. Alex is like, oh, shucks. Missed out on the MLB. Oh.
It's depressing. I know. Hey, Kuhn, do me a favor. In the older, smarter, better-looking one, according to no, I'm just joking. I don't want Gabe to put me in a pretzel during the break. But check him out seriously at Alex Kuhn 523. He is Gabe's brother. He's a play-by-play broadcast journalist. Hopefully one day going to be down here, but he's here with me every Friday, and he is locked. He's loaded, and he's always ready to rock. We'll talk next Friday, and we're going to do it at 2 o'clock, all right?
Sounds good. Talk to you guys then.
That's my buddy
Peace.
Alex. Check him out. And, yeah, it's kind of wild, man. I got his brother next to me. Alex is the bomb. Fridays rock. But coming up next, I got to talk with Ray Brown, starting 2-hour show tomorrow. He's going to have Dennis Dodd. I think, maybe Tommy Tuberville might stop on by. It's going to be very SEC strong, but we'll talk about that all next. But never, ever forget, who gives you this? The entire hour, the entire 2 hours, all of you and my wonderful sponsors, MemphisFarmers.com, my man Chad Gatlin. I've told you about it 1,000 times. You know about everything, auto, home, life, business, everything that you can think about. But the one thing a lot of people forget, because they have their health insurance, their life insurance through their work. Right now, with so many people who have lost jobs, so many things that are unsure, get you just a life insurance policy. God forbid you lose your job and then lost your life. Don't let your family not have at least stable ground. Remember, MemphisFarmers.com, my friend Chad Gatlin, 901-235-1176. That's 901-235-1176. Or just check out MemphisFarmers.com. We'll be right back with Ray Brown on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Great news, sports fans. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse is now open for dine-in service. Make a reservation and enjoy a mouth-watering steak dinner. Or, if you prefer, take it curbside. In addition to their fantastic steaks, the Butcher Shop Steakhouse has a variety of entrees, including Canadian lobster tail, crab-stuffed shrimp, pan-seared red snapper, and fresh ground steak burger with portobello mushroom sauce. Planning to cook out? The Butcher Shop Steakhouse offers a great selection of hand-cut fresh steaks, lamb chops, Atlantic salmon, and more. Father's Day is coming soon, so make your reservation for dine-in or pre-order for curbside pickup. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, dine-in, curbside, and delivery. Call us at 757-4244 and visit our website, thebutchershop.com, for menus and more. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, Walnut Grove and Germantown Parkway.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up, like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines, and the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for all you do. Visit Grainger.com for resources that can help as you create your recovery plan. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Napa know-how. Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping on over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $50 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Yo, your Pusher Man is back. Y'all know who I am. Sports 56 Happy Hours, Johnny Radio. Y'all know Gabe at G_Coon71. And you also know him for all those years you just cheered on them Tiger teams, baby. He was there with Fuente, Norvell, was coached by Silverfield. Man knows a lot about Memphis. And we'll talk about a lot of Memphis stuff here coming up soon. Some more stuff with Gabe. But I got to tell you about what's happening on Saturdays. We got a new show. It's started out. It was a 1-hour program. It's grown. It's now 2 hours. It's on Saturday. And it's my good friend Rob Brown. I know I say Ray all the daggum time to him because my old friend from high school's name is Ray Brown. And I always call Rob Ray. So, Rob, what are you doing, my brother?
Hey, look, when I yell at my two boys, Max and Wilson, they've become one name, Melson. So don't feel bad.
Hey, well, I know what you mean, but I wanted to bring you on because I have a lot of energy. I listened to your show Sidelines. I felt your energy. I'm glad this thing's gone to 2 hours. You've had Tommy Tuberville on, David Paschal. You've had Dennis Dodd. I hear my man Pete Cordelli. I've heard everything on Sports 56 WHBQ on the mornings. You've been rocking and rolling. It's been absolutely beautiful. I'm fired up that y'all are now moving to 2 hours. And before I do get into talking about your show, though, I just want to ask, because I know you went to Auburn. I know you're a big-time Auburn fan, and I want to ask you this. Do you believe Gus Malzahn when he said he sees a championship in Bo Nix's future?
I believe the talent is there to make that happen, but if Gus will get out of his own way and quit micromanaging the coaches that he brings in to coach the offense, that's a possibility because they're always going to have the talent. The tough schedule's a given. I mean, they're going to play LSU, Georgia, Alabama every year. But now he's got Chad Morris over there, one of his best friends, and he's got to let him do his thing. Otherwise, it just won't happen. They'll be, 9-3, 10-2, something like that. But that's as good as it'll be.
All right, now I got to ask you because you're rocking tomorrow. I'm fired up about it. I want to know, though. I want to know what you got. Is it true? Are you going to have Tommy on tomorrow?
Yeah, Tommy Tuberville is going to be joining us at 8 tomorrow morning. Of course, he's out on the campaign trail in Alabama, but he always weighs in and has great insight.
He's going against Jeff Sessions, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Magoo and him are going toe-to-toe, man. But actually, he's got a 20-point lead on him right now.
Wow.
So Tuberville, I keep saying, Coach, will you keep calling in when you're a senator? He's going to try to do it. But
yeah, tell him when he's a senator, I really am going to need his number.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Because, the things, he gives great insight. I mean, obviously he coached at Ole Miss and Auburn and then went to Texas Tech for 3 years in Cincinnati. But great insight. Of course, 8 years at Miami. He's got four national championship rings. He's got a lot of great stories to tell. Like Warren Sapp, I forgot. He came in as a 225-pound tight end, and he told Warren when he begged the coaches, said, let me move him over to defense.
He came in as a tight end? I didn't even know that.
He's out of Apopka, which is a suburb of Orlando, Apopka, Florida. It's where the great running back for Florida State, Sammy Smith, came from. And basically, they told Warren, they said, how am I going to do it? He goes, you're just going to have to eat your way into it. And he came back weighing about 300 pounds. And another player they recruited out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, in that Big 8 high school league in Metro Philadelphia with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And he backed up Warren Sapp his time at Miami. He wasn't able to be a All-American in football, but he's a superstar wrestler, and he's a movie star too. So
I know it worked out very, very well. Now, speaking about things working out, I know your show's going to work out. It's going to be great. You got Tommy on at 8. You got one of my friends from the Times Free Press, David's going to join you talking anything. He talks everything, and then I know who else are you going to have? Dennis Dodd.
We got to get David Pascal's Chattanooga Times Free Press. You're right. He's one of the best sports writers around, and then Jeff Cardoza from the Florida Gator.
Oh, I don't know, Jeff.
Does a daily sports radio show down there with Pat Dooley, a great writer for the Gainesville Sun, and before him you had Jack Hairston. But we'll have him, and then in the second hour we're going to have a round table with Dennis Dodd from CBSSports.com. I think he's writing, Johnny. I think he's writing the best stuff out there on the national level about college football. He's a Missouri grad, lives out in Kansas City, always brings a lot to the table. Man, he's great, and it's a great way to start your morning, just like it is. Hey, if you listen to Johnny Radio, you listen to our show, you're going to be ready to go to a game. I don't care where it is, you're going to be ready to go.
You're going to be fired up, I can promise that. Hey, Rob, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to hit the break, but whatever you do, don't forget, everybody, 8 o'clock to 10, Sidelines. Don't forget, he's also he's going to be on our website early as Monday, but you can also just go simply to catch his stuff. You have your own website as well, and what is that, just sideline.live?
Yeah, Sidelines.live. That's the name of my old show I started back when I was in college, and we found that it was still out there available, so my web guy, Nigel, got it for me, Sidelines.live. But, hey, it's awesome being on Sports 56 because this is where rock and roll began, and nobody in the country has better sports radio, 6 a.m., 7 p.m. local, Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays and Sundays as well, like Sports 56. I love it.
It is the business, man. We are late for a break. Hit that button. I got to tell you something. Tomorrow, whatever you do, make sure you listen to my man Rob Brown. I'm late. I got to say Sports 56, 96.1, and always tell you, never forget my very good friend Chad Gatlin at MemphisFarmers.com. Give him a call. If you just don't go to MemphisFarmers.com, which is very easy, you can call and talk to him. 901-235-1176. Auto, home, life, business, anything you can think of, he's got your back. That's MemphisFarmers.com. My friend Chad Gatlin. We'll be back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Is in my head.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a 6-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Hi, it's The Herd. Lowe's wants to celebrate the daddest dads of all, who have been crushing DIY projects lately with Lowe's Dedications. Not dedications, dedications. Call and tell us about the DIY dad in your life. 833-619-3DAD. That's 833-619-3323. Then listen Father's Day weekend to hear your dedication live on the air. You can also check out more Lowe's tributes to Dad using the hashtag #DadBuiltThis. Though we're apart these days, we're sharing more. And Geico would just like to say thanks. Thanks for sharing your dance moves. Thanks for sharing your DIY haircut fails. Now it's Geico's turn to share too with the Geico Give Back. A 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies for current and new customers. And because Geico's committed for the long haul, the 15% credit lasts your full policy term. Visit geico.com/giveback for info and eligibility.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdingers. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdingers, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdingers offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. On AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here. Ladies and gentlemen. And now?
Now, the only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
And just so you know, Death liked it. Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour. Y'all know me, Johnny Radio, your friend John Harden. Y'all know Gabe Kuhn. You should by now. He's always here, and he's always got something very interesting to say. Big thanks to Gabe, as always, at G_Kuhn71, but also thanks to his brother, Alex. Also, thank you to my good friend, I always say Ray because that's what I used to go to I used to be good friends with a dude named Ray Brown, so his name is Rob Brown, but Rob starts tomorrow with Sidelines. Thank him for joining. The second hour, though, it is for y'all. 67129, that's 67129. I want y'all to hit me up, talk to me, let me know what's going down, and I want to know how y'all feel. I was listening to Eli Savoy and Greg Gaston, and I love talking baseball. I'm not going to lie. I know it's not always people's, like, you don't just say, oh, God, I just need me some baseball like me. Eli's a huge Cubs fan. I am a baseball jizzonky, and I do want to remind y'all, we are going to pay some price. We're going to talk about baseball this year, but I do want to remind y'all something that I think is interesting, and it's coming out this Sunday on television. It's The Long Gone Summer. It's directed by A.J. Schnack. Now, do you know what The Long Gone Summer is about?
You asking me?
Yes.
Of course I do.
Why is it that it feels, I understand the Mitchell Report.
And for those that don't know, Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire's chase for the most home runs in a season.
Thank you very much, Gabe.
There you go. Like, I had to make it known.
You're like, I know it, and I'm like, okay, let me tell everybody. Yes, it's about the unbelievable summer that was, chasing Rob Maris's 61 home runs. Who is going to pass him? Oh my gosh, could it be both? Who's going to be the home run king? Yada yada yada. It was a wild summer, and it was also a comeback after literally labor negotiations, almost, in my opinion, destroyed baseball. But The Long Gone Summer, I saw some previews. And again, I just want to say I lived it. In editing, you can do anything. And yes, there was a price to pay with the Mitchell Report. Yes, Rafael Palmeiro in front of Congress did not look good. One, I don't know why he was in front of Congress. The other thing, Mark McGwire just pleading the fifth and not saying jack, didn't look good. Sammy Sosa couldn't speak English, had an interpreter. The whole thing was a joke. But that summer, I almost, when I say this, I don't mean to sound callous. But I almost, at that point in my time, wouldn't have cared if they walked up in the box, stuck steroids right there in their butt before they batted. Because at the time, it was so enthralling. And the sad thing is, most people actually were, like, the only people that the steroid era surprised, I think, was Congress or the very, very uneducated fan. Because if you watched baseball your whole damn existence, don't get me, Willie Stargell was a beast. Don't get me, Reggie Jackson could hit it. but they weren't looking like cartoon characters. I mean, they didn't have basically like a 2 waist and a 64 shoulder. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, these guys were cartoon characters. I don't know. Gabe, you were probably too young. We all thought steroids was running rampant through baseball. It was almost like a big joke. Pitchers were taking it. Hitters were taking it. Everybody was taking it. We didn't think it was good. The sad thing was I'm glad they cleaned it up when they did because, Gabe, I don't know if you had to deal with this. And the reason they deal with the pro sports, don't give me this whole trickle-down economic stuff because I don't want to believe in that. I will tell you what I do believe in, trickle-down things from the pros to the college, from the college to the high school. And when I was growing up, if I didn't care about women as much as I did, and I was literally testosterone probably ran through me more than probably anybody. I mean, heck, at 2 years old, whenever the Tab commercial would come on, I would literally just stop what I was doing. I am aging myself, but the Tab girl, if you ever saw her, oh, I was in love with her. So I just was like, I wouldn't do steroids. But did you have steroids running rampant through your high school?
It would. See, the thing is, by the time I was in high school, we had just gotten out of all that, right? So it was like, it was so frowned upon to the point where there were some people we knew did it, right? There was no doubt some people we knew did it. But for the most part, people tried to stay as clean as possible because that was a time where it was so frowned upon and looked. Because we were just getting out of the Mitchell Report. We were just getting out of all that no one wanted to be known. It didn't want to be known that you were doing it.
There's only one reason I didn't do it. I was so close to letting a guy one time in practice actually stick the needle in me. One, I was scared to death of needles. That's one thing. I'm very scared of those. But do you know what literally did it for me? When they said that it could increase the size of a certain part of my anatomy while increasing the other size of my anatomy, just that fear.
You mean decreasing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Decrease while making. I would look like here. I'm sorry.
That's all you needed to hear.
Basically, what I was just saying. If it would decrease my, like, could you imagine? Have you ever seen those guys whose head looks too small for their shoulders?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that guy, if you know what I'm saying, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying. I think y'all are reading between the lines. So that literally kept me, and it was not frowned upon. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say the players' names. I know all you people who are listening. I know my a good buddy out here who's probably listening, who's texting me right now. He's like, you say my name, I'm going to rip your head off.
Rip your head off, huh? Little roid rage going on?
No, actually, now he's the most peaceful person on planet Earth, actually, which is a trip. He's a big hippie. But no, what I'm saying is back then, yes, roids ran through, and I'm not going to say it was Houston, and it was Christian Brothers, and it was Germantown, and it was Melrose, and it was every school I went to, all the way over to Ensworth. And high school kids taking steroids was such a sad norm that I'm glad that the Mitchell Report did come out, and I'm glad they made these things illegal. But again, don't take my childhood away from me and what I watched on TV, and then don't tell me that it wasn't actually good for the game when it did happen.
Can I ask, because I think it's been a complete fall off in Major League Baseball since the steroid era, unfortunately, and that's sad, but it's true. But I'll ask you, when you were in high school, when you're going through all this, was it almost glorified?
Yes, it was glorified.
Like people wanted you to know that they were on steroids.
Oh yes, if I wasn't,
that's so bizarre.
If I wasn't quarterback, free safety that 1 year, my sophomore year, and pitching and center fielder, like if I literally was a lineman, linebacker, running back, doing anything that took actual size instead of just my arm, yes, they would have definitely probably ended up pressuring me enough to end up taking them. But luckily, be honest with you, quarterbacks don't really have to be blocking anybody, if you know what I'm saying. As long as they're faster and can throw the ball a lot farther than everybody else, you're cool. But I feel blessed that while now my grandson, who is not there yet, if he ever does go to play high school sports, I do know this now. They frown upon it so bad it's not even funny, and I love that. So yes, you can sit there and we can all go in the long gone summer, and you can have Larry Nance come on, or you can have any damn person from back then who wants to just talk about, oh, how horrible, and it just the cost of the toll on baseball that it took. No. The toll on life that it took for those who didn't make it to the major leagues is where I'm scared. The fact that it spread throughout college, the fact that it fell all the way down into the high school ranks. That's where, but the fact that I know D-ball, Cyprianate, DECA, all these names of different steroids, and I ain't no doctor, and trust me, it's been a long time since I've been around any type of, the clean and the clear was way past me. That was like, what Barry Bonds was taking. But what I'm just trying to say is we can look at anything we want to. If we want to, we can edit it. We can make it look good. We can make it look bad. The only thing is I'm going to watch this weekend, 8 o'clock on Sunday. I would like y'all to watch it with me. And I want you to watch it with just the eyes of, we are coming out of a horrible labor negotiation. Baseball is not loved. Nobody's hit 61 since Maris. The home run wasn't, and then Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire don't just play on play on two teams. They play in the Midwest, the two teams outside the Yankees.
Arguably
and the Red
the
Sox,
second biggest rivalry in baseball.
Cubs and Cardinals, second biggest possibly out there, period. That was such a beautiful, beautiful summer, and it was a great thing. So, yes, it was great for baseball, in my opinion. And, yes, because of them two and how big they got and how bad they destroyed all the numbers, I'm glad Congress did in, because you know what? Now young kids who don't listen, the hardest thing for a kid to do is actually say no or actually think for himself. He wants the power of the crowd for young people. It is so powerful. A coach's influence over a young kid when he's growing up is immense. It's as much as a father's, if not more sometimes. If your teammates who you look up and they're seniors and you're a sophomore or freshman and they're telling you, I got here through this. Here, buddy, I'm passing this down to you as it was passed down to me. That is pressure. Saying no is the hardest damn thing. So, yes, while everybody wants to talk about the long gone summer and all this, the bad things, why don't we ever talk about the fact that we literally cleaned up high school sports from steroids? I talked with a friend who played left tackle, who is the high school coach. Y'all probably know him. He's been on my show, Coach Thomas. He did not take steroids, went over and played at Arkansas, but me and him, he unfortunately can tell you, like me and like Thomas and, a few other dudes, we were we were the minority. The ones that didn't take steroids, we were in the minority. And plus, you could tell the ones that were taking steroids, they were jacked and had pimples out the frame.
A little angry, too.
Little angry. But I just wanted to mention that. And then the last but not least, I wanted to ask this to Gabe Kuhn, because this is something that bothers me. And I heard my very, somebody I respect very much in Eli Savoy, another person who knows baseball extremely well and loves the sport. I understand one word that he said. The players are feeling bullied. I've been thinking, what is a better term? But you know what? I can understand, it's kind of hard if you're a millionaire to be bullied. But actually, you know what? If you are a billionaire, who can bully a millionaire? They kind of are getting bullied. And at first I was saying I agreed. Yeah, they're not getting bullied. That's the wrong term. Except for when you look at this. So Rob Manfred has come out and said 100% we're going to play baseball, correct? He says 100%.
He has.
Now, it's going to be the fewer games they play, the less amount of money the players are going to make. That is just a fact. That's just the way things are written up. But today, and I just want to mention something, the Players Association, what they sent over yesterday, which the major leagues declined and said because it was too many games, wasn't necessarily the whole money thing. It was literally, it was going past October. The other thing is the Major League Baseball, they want 16 teams in the playoffs. Do you even know how many teams are normally in a baseball playoff? 10. They're trying to make it 16. Do you know who gets the revenue from the playoffs? That's right, the owners. So why would you give extra games for nothing and when you're getting paid less? And then the last but not least, people want to keep saying that these owners are acting in good faith. They literally sent a proposal back to Major League Baseball's Player Association's Tony Clark. And I want you to listen to what I'm going to tell you. And it's very simple because I'm going to make simple math. The players asked for 85% of a prorated salary. MLB said that they would give them 100%, zero on playoffs, and they would do like a 70-game league. Major League Baseball came out and said 85%. with split revenue, blah, 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 blah. Baseball comes back, and do you know what they send them today after the little things that they were fighting about? They actually shortened it from an 85% prorated salary to 70. So that's 15% they just literally lost, players did, in one day. And I just want to ask you, if you have $1 million salary, we're going to make it really quickly. And they said, okay, you're going to lose 15%. Well, that's $150,000. Then they say you're going to lose another 10%. That's another $100,000. You just lost $250,000 in 2 days just trying to negotiate, and you've gained nothing. So again, what other word is than bullying? If you got a commissioner saying 100% we're going to play, you got owners who have already had 3 signed contracts by Tony Clark, by Michelle, by everybody that you're supposed to have signed. You had all the big boys. I mean, even you didn't even have, Trevor Bauer's never happy, right? Trevor Bauer was even going to accept this. And now you got people like Andrew McCutchen, LOL. You got people out there who are saying they're not going to come back and play. The July 4th, all this opportunity in the game that is most socially distant and probably the easiest one to actually manage, baseball is going to, again, cut off their nose to spite their face. And while people are going to watch the long gone summer is happening right now. They might show some TV show on Sunday, and they're going to show you Sosa and McGuire. The long gone summer is happening right now. And you can get mad at the players. Again, Mike Trout, you want to like I love you, Eli, but Mike Trout is only known by 41% of the people in this poll. Baseball is doing a horrible job, but yet who has made NFL owners? Did they make as much in the last decade, even as MLB owners? See, I thought they did when you look at the revenue. Holy cow. MLB owners actually made a small percentage more. Never would have thought of that. But then when you talk about it blew my mind. It literally blew my mind. Plus there's 32 versus 30 teams. Anyway, point is, baseball owners are doing extremely well. All these rich people are doing well. We need baseball. But again, I love baseball players. They have a finite career. Like, it will end. They will not always be able to make revenue. Owners, how long do they average? I told you this 2 weeks ago. What was the average year? And it goes up every year. How long does the average owner of a pro sport team own their team?
It's around 40 years, if I remember correctly.
38 and a half years, and it's going up. Because why? Why would you sell something that you paid a couple $100 million for, and now it's worth a few billion, and every year you get to pocket, again, like in the decade from the Forbes I looked up, after you pay taxes and all this stuff, owners in Major League Baseball, and I sent it to Eli, I'm going to pull it up right here. It almost freaked me out. I can't believe, when I tell you this number, tell me if this does not just freak you out. In the last decade, the owners of baseball, after taxes and all that stuff, the amount of money the owners have made, $2.21 billion. That's an average over the last decade. Damn. Like, are you kidding me? Tell me what play. Dude, I know Mike Trout's got a $400 million contract. What other one? Oh, Bryce Harper at $330? Yes, there are some huge contracts. Tell me what player has ever made $2.21 billion. And I'll tell you that's never happened. So again, the bullies, yeah, they are the owners. Do the fans need baseball? Hell yes. Does baseball need fans? Absolutely. Baseball even needs owners and stuff. But heck, man, I'm almost starting thinking that municipalities, and since we have to pay for the stadiums, maybe Congress needs to figure out a way, since baseball means more to people and we can't get it and they can't figure everything out. I'm tired of making these billionaire a-holes with a monopoly super, super rich. Then I'm also tired of, we have a draft where they drop 35 rounds. Baseball teams, they went from $100,000 was the most bonus that any player could get. That's a new rule. They get, what was the kid just a couple years ago who got like $7 million signing bonus? Jacob deGrom got a $900,000 signing bonus in the 9th round with the Mets. Now you get 50, 25 next year, 25 next year, and that whole whopping like under $20,000 salary. Yep, MLB baseball is just going to be great going forward. And again, they're going to cut 40 they've already agreed on. Now it looks like 42 minor league teams. I don't know how we can even blame players. This, in my personal opinion, has one thing, and that's MLB's owners. And the saddest part about this is it also is the weakness. The proof here is there is no worse person other than James Dolan and Mark Emmert. They're a lot worse. But the man who's the face of a professional sports league, Rob, you've taken a hit so bad that now Roger Goodell could be Santa Claus and you would be called the Grinch at Christmas. That's how screwed up things are.
So with Rob Manfred, I brought this point up last night to my brother when I was talking about this. And I think it's interesting because you have a 150-year-old sport, right, in Major League Baseball. And he's cutting these teams, these minor league teams. We've talked about that for years. But it's just bizarre. It seems like he's thinking short-term money-making situations when you have a 150-year-old sport that you want to keep going for years and years as America's pastime. And it just seems like he's not worried about long-term effects on his game. And I think that's where he misses the mark so hard as a commissioner. And it's been a steady decline since he's got there.
It has been. And it's also just it's really sad. And again, I tried to yesterday, and if you missed it, you can go to the podcast. I don't have enough time. We're about to go to Hardinwood. But I really broke down basically a lot of stuff yesterday on baseball and how, Major League Baseball, we're going to have an effect. Again, think about the Jacob deGroms and think about the Albert Pujols and think about all these guys who were late round picks. Max, sure. Max actually fell because of his thing, but it was only the 11th. Never mind. There's a lot of dudes out there. Heck, I think Garrett Cole was after the 5th round, wasn't he? I can't remember. I just know that we have got guys out there who have gone. I think about it. We have guys who are number one. Remember Apple when he was the number one pick after Carlos Correa when Houston got him? And then number 2 was some dude who's named Chris Bryant. Dude, where's Apple at right now? Chris Bryant's a baller with a World Series ring. So, yes, they get it wrong, but there's also a lot of guys, and now we're cutting down jobs. And then the thing that just breaks my heart is, do you think, now that they got rid of that $30 million pool, do you think it's $30 million per team? Why do you think that the owners were able to have a pool for players that they've never, realistically less than 4% make it to the Major League Baseball? Why would you spend $30 million a year if only 4% make it to Major League Baseball? Because you make that damn much money.
But doesn't it seem like they're cutting these corners money-wise for a short-term monetary gain? Mm-hmm. When you have an 150-year-old sport, it doesn't make sense at all. None of the moves that Rob Manfred has made, besides the allowing his players to not be tested for marijuana, which I thought was that was minor leagues even.
That was funny.
That's the only move I think I've seen by him that I actually agree with.
By the way, in Hardinwood, we are going to talk about one thing that I am proud of, and that is the drug testing policy also in the NBA, which I found pretty interesting. In fact, we got a few interesting things to talk about in Hardinwood. But I will say again, all this that's going down in the world, I want baseball back. But I'll tell you right now, Rob Manfred, you can scream 100. I guarantee 100%. But if the baseball owners and Tony Clark and MLB Players Association don't figure something out, and if Andrew McCutchen doesn't tweet LOL, and all these players don't keep saying things, and if fans continue to blame players, I'm going to tell you another secret. If you are getting blamed by fans, do you think you're going to go out there to help the fans? No, again, it's just kind of like part of life. It's kind of like this right here. By the way, remember, do something nice for somebody. I don't know why Honey just sent me this text, but I'm going to say it anyway. She said, hey, John, just give this person a shout out and say it. Somebody at the Houston Collierville Starbucks just bought me a frappe and left, paid for, and she feels so good, so she did it for somebody behind her. It does feel good to do something nice. Hint baseball, give us a little something. Quit talking about money. By the way, if you haven't noticed, money has basically ruined everything. It's ruining college sports right now. Duke's about to go down. This whole Ron DeSantis, by the way, you are such a baller. Thank you for what he's done. But we have a whole lot of things, but the one thing that we do have, a love for games and a need for them. We have got to figure out the safest way to get them on. We want to be safe for the families. We also want to be fair to the owners and the players and also the television corporations. There's a lot that needs to be planned. But again, you have to come from a place of honesty and a little give and take. You can't come as a dictator and tell people how it's going to be or you know what's going to happen. Just like every kid. Go tell your kid not to do something. Don't you dare smoke those cigarettes. Next thing you know, they're in the backyard, chain smoking a hell of a lot of them, throwing up and sick as can be. Again, talk to people. Treat them as human beings. And you know what? Maybe we can get not just basketball, but we could actually get some baseball. And I'm praying for still college football, and I'm praying for the NFL. We got so much to talk about. Coming up in Hardinwood, I got to bring up Kevin Stefanski, Ed Stefanski's son. I got to bring up Myles Garrett, the Browns, the Steelers. I got football galore, and then plus drug testing and more. So if I were you, I wouldn't touch that dial. This is, of course, brought to you by 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Them Houses. Why? Because he's going to buy that house right this minute. You're going to have the check in 5 days, and then life will go back to being good. He gets things done, not like Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred. So call 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. This is Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
It's R&R on Sports.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from
Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more.
R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
Don't miss us.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales. Visit Frontier Western Store this Father's Day for the perfect gifts for Dad. From now until Father's Day, you'll save big on the classic Carhartt K87 short sleeve tee. Get 2 for $25. Frontier carries every color they make, including this year's brand new colors. All sizes are in stock and on sale, small to 4X. All Carhartt Force t-shirts are 25% off too. This hard-working cotton blend wicks away sweat, resists stains, and has a relaxed fit, giving Dad plenty of room to move. Save big on Force at 25% off. Also, all men's pants and jeans, $5 off. Wrangler, Carhartt, and Ariat. Every pair of khakis, jeans, dungarees, and even FR workwear, $5 off. All Carhartt shorts are 25% off too. While you're there, grab Dad some boots. You know he'd love a new pair. Frontier has thousands of boots in stock at amazing everyday low prices. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Hi, this is Jay Farner, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so when you call 8338-ROCKET or visit us at rocketmortgage.com to start your refinance, you'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.375%, APR 3.59%. Right now could be a great time for you to take some positive financial steps forward with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for. In addition, we may be able to help you refinance with little or no out-of-pocket costs. At Rocket Mortgage, we're committed to every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, giving you the best mortgage experience. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Rates subject to change. Pay 1.875% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man.
I'm your pusher man. Welcome back into Sports 56 Happy Hour. My favorite segment in the world is right here. We are going to Hardwood because it feels so right. We're going to Hardwood. Oh, it's going to be a good night. Love Friday, Sports 56 Happy Hour. We got 2 segments left, then Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. They're going to drive you home. Now, we got golf on this weekend, folks. Haven't mentioned much about golf because, one, I'm not the greatest golfer in the world, but golf is back, and the Charles Schwab is going down, and the Charles Schwab Challenge, and I think it's Harold Varner he's in first at 11 under. My man Spieth has been playing pretty good. Don't know if he's still playing good because I've been doing a radio show, but that's about all I'm going to give you on golf because I'm about to go do my favorite things, and we're going to talk about some stuff at Clemson. We're going to talk about the John C. Calhoun. It being pulled from basically Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins, their request. We're going to talk about what Trevor's doing with Dabo. We're going to talk about marijuana. We're going to talk about my girl Michelle Roberts, how she's smoking Tony Clark. And Major League Baseball Players Association is the strongest, but Michelle Roberts is making a little bit of wake. We'll talk about all that and more, but first I have to tell you something that is so deadgum crucial, and I don't know if you even know this, but do you know that, your house is your largest investment? Duh. Do you know how, scary of a time it is if you have a roofing emergency? Dude, when water starts coming in your house, and if anybody knows about water damage, there is not much that could ever be worse than water damage, other than probably fire damage. Water, you won't even believe it. It messes up everything. It gets underneath your laminate, underneath your tiles, and your things, can cause mold. It is a nightmare. So what I'm trying to say to you, if there's been a big storm, if there was some hail, if something's going on with your roof, if you haven't been in your attic, or if something's leaking, immediately call 901-867-0303. Yes, that's Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. That's 867-0303, 867-0303. This is something, it's your biggest investment. It can be a scary time, but I promise you, they'll be out there in 2 shakes. If your roof doesn't need a new roof, don't worry. They're not going to sell you one. Plus, they're going to work with your insurance. I promise you, they'll comply with everything with the COVID-19 and social distancing standards. So whatever you do, check out my good friend Chris Price and Brian Elder, who have made the #1 roofing team in the world, commercial, residential, whatever you're doing. Call 867-0303. That's 867-03. Okay, I'll quit singing. Call it now, though, because I promise you, man, this is your house. Don't let water start leaking in because, man, you have no idea how much that can ruin your life, as I do right now. So check out Brian Elder, and promise you'll be happy you did. Now, let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Told you I like Brian Elder. Told you I like Chris Price. But, man, I'm starting to love Michelle Roberts. Do y'all remember back in when she became the head of the NBA's Players Association? Everybody's like, who's Michelle Roberts? Who's Michelle Roberts? I'm not joking with you because, I'm dyslexic. Reading it quickly like I did, I thought I said Michael Roberts. Just because I figured it would be a man. So she's done, though, one heck of a job. Proves that it doesn't matter. If you're a smart person, you can do anything. But I'm going to tell you something. Is this woman not smart? She is one of the smartest women in the world. She became the first executive director of the National Basketball Players Association as a female person. But not only has she done that, she has also now got what? You won't even believe this. She's got Adam Silver for at least this year, and they're looking about current years following. This year, they will not be. They go back to Disney. There will be no marijuana, no recreational drug of any type will be tested in Orlando. I'm not an advocate for, non-perform, like recreational drugs. But I am an advocate for marijuana and medicinal cannabis. I know people that y'all would not believe. I don't even want to bring it up, but person who has seizures, that only thing that saves their life is CBD, and they had to move to Colorado years ago. Amen, that they were able to get out there and help their daughter. I know somebody out there, well, I don't like opioids. I don't want to take opioids. I'm scared to death of opioids because I have so many friends who have died from this damn disease. But I will tell you one thing. I've never seen anybody die from smoking even a Cheech and Chong Labrador Retriever joint. You know what I'm saying? It could be the biggest one in the world. You ain't dying. Now, guess what? She has got it to where they will not be testing, and the protocols are just awesome. But the one thing they're also going to do is she became the first female. Not just are they going to not like test for cannabis, and she's pro-cannabis. She's the first female board member of a national cannabis company, Cresto Labs. They announced this on Wednesday. She has now done her official whatever signing. She is a part of it. And I just want to ask you a question. Did you ever, people in a million years, think that you would have somebody as high as a Tony Clark or a Michelle Robbins end up becoming board member to one of the top 10 cannabis companies in the country?
Well, the difference is for the NBA, your commissioner, and Adam Silver, is actually very open-minded. Because I feel like in other sports, they might not be, they wouldn't want that to run side by side, right?
Hey, yo, I just got...
Do you think Tony Clark or who else is it for the NFL? DeMaurice Smith, whatever? Yeah, you think that would ever happen?
No, not at all. Do not think it at all. And that's why I feel like, man, she's kind of a breath of fresh air. Breath of fresh air. Like, I like her. She thinks
she's
different.
A boss.
She's talking, and she is a boss, and she's a lawyer, and she don't play no games. But you know what? She just comes at things different. It's amazing how sometimes if you got two people arguing, you got nobody listening. But if you got somebody actually who's listening, maybe they can come back with something that you can hear, and maybe you'll understand. And I don't know what she did, and maybe it is just Adam Silver.
Somebody leading a players' association being directly in line with cannabis is something I never thought I'd see this soon.
Nope. And I mentioned Don Nelson. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know I talked about Nelly Kush, right?
Man. Nelly Kush.
Dude, by the way, there's a whole Kush thing that's going on in California. Have you heard about this? Well,
no.
There's a big thing that's going on. It started actually in Seattle.
Where'd you read it? Hold up. Where'd you read it? Where'd you read this?
Marijuana Times or High Times? Sorry, okay. High Times. What's the difference? But anyway, so that's a very good magazine, by the way. They got good writers, trust me. But Don Nelson has Nelly Kush, Super Dank, Told You Willie, my man Matthew McConaughey, and you know what's the dude in Natural Born Killers that was also on that show, Cheers? Woody Harrelson. They love going to Nelson's place down in Hawaii and smoking on the Nelly Kush. But Bubba Kush, it started in Washington. People were getting mad because there was too many Kushes. So they put it on a thing. They're tired of people naming things Kush. So like Bubba Kush, all these things.
Well, doesn't that refer to the type it is?
Yes. It's like a phenotype or something.
Yeah, so what do you, how are you supposed to, you're telling you what it is. This is a type of.
It's an article in High Times.
Marijuana,
you might find it interesting because Nelly Kush, and I thought this had a lot to do with sports, and then Michelle Roberts getting into, and this is one other thing I brought this up, because Michelle Roberts did not say this, okay? I just wanted to make sure you know. Cresto Labs did make sure, though, that they would be working on a different style of medical marijuana, CBD, and they won't be delving into the Kush as hard. Like, do you know what I'm saying? They'll go after, like, the different indica styles, sativa styles, and hybrids. But can I just ask you something? A woman that is a part of the NBA Players Association, and then you go to Cresto Labs and you read stuff like this, and they're on High Times, and I never thought I'd live in a day like this. 2020, it's crazy, but there are some crazy good things about it. But mostly 2020 is stumped.
As you say, it's hard to find them.
If we can get to 2021 and some of these things stay in place.
The good things are pretty remote at this point.
Yeah, but
hopefully we
they're
improve.
Pretty good, though.
Hopefully we get to a point where a lot more good things start happening.
That is very, very,
like
very
this good thing.
Uh-oh. What you got?
So remember earlier in the week I talked about how Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins were among others, were starting a petition to get rid of John C. Calhoun's name. He was obviously a
slave owner,
known politician who called slavery a positive good. They were petitioning to get his name removed from the Honors College, right?
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
remember
say,
that?
because it was on the Honors College.
Now, guess what? The Clemson Board of Trustees voted this morning to change the name of the Calhoun Honors College after the former players did it. So I think that's a positive good, right? We're moving in the right way, right direction. I don't know what they're changing it to. They haven't gotten to that point. But DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson seem to have advocated for some decent change around Clemson.
And by the way, I almost wasn't going to do this, but this is one of his most famous quotes. And the fact that it took to 2020, and this is Clemson, he said, "We are not a nation, but a union, a confederacy of equal and sovereign states. Property is in its nature timid and seeks protection, and nothing is more gratifying than government to become a protector. Beware the wrath of a patient adversary. I never knew what I know now. South Carolina thinks of what South Carolina thinks of a measure." Basically, the dude is basically saying, we ain't with the Union. We ain't with the United States. We are a confederacy, and he still was like ahead of your
He was incredibly entrenched in keeping slavery in the South, man.
He's got very
literally
wild.
called slavery a positive good, and I know it was different times, but regardless of that, we can't celebrate someone of that nature in this country anymore. We have to move past that.
Yes, we do. And by the way, again, it's just simple. It's time, man. Come on, dude. Literally. Very much time. Now, since you mentioned Clemson, did you know that my man Sunshine is actually doing a walk this week?
A walk?
Like they're doing it's a protest hymn.
Okay.
Dabo Swinney.
Dabo's going to be there.
Dabo's going to be there. It's what do you call it? It's the Clemson University. It's their honors. They changed the Calhoun Honors College, and Trevor Lawrence, Dabo Swinney. They're trying to get players, maybe DeAndre Hopkins, who knows, maybe Watson will show up. But they say they will go on a walk this weekend, just basically peaceful protest. It's not going to be anything like, again, they're expecting a couple thousand students. And again, it's all peaceful, and they want to shout out to DeAndre Watson. They want to shout out to Deshaun Watson and all the students who brought this issue to light. And they wanted to say thank you for getting real change. So for Trevor Lawrence to come out and kind of be this mature and say, I'm not setting up a protest. And I said it wrong. I said protest. They are walking to say thank you to DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you to Deshaun Watson. And then, like he says, and also thank you for listening, Clemson, because we do need real change. I don't know. It's one of the better stories going around right
Again,
now.
you got to dig for good news, but good news is out there.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is out there.
But there is one bad news that I want to make fun. Can I make fun of somebody real quick? Bro, have you seen LiAngelo's back?
Okay, and I saw this, right? How long would you sit? Like, what's the limit of
20
the amount of
minutes?
time that you would sit and get a tattoo?
Well,
You don't have a
I
tattoo.
don't
You
have
have
a
any?
tattoo. No.
You sure? No, like bad decisions in Gulf Shores in
No,
1990.
never. I've made plenty of bad decisions, but not with tattooing. I don't like
Okay.
needles. And plus, I'm cheap. I don't want to give somebody money to put something on my body. You know what I mean? Never mind. Anyway, I just
No Gulf Shores 1990 spring break tattoos.
I'm a good friends with Richie, who owns Trilogy. Love playing golf with Richie. I like the people that do all the tats and stuff. I know all the peeps. My personal self, you know how much I change? I can't imagine one permanent thing to put on my body other than like my kids' names. And then what's the point of that? I know my damn kids' names. You know what I mean? Like, how do you forget your kids' names?
You ever seen Memento? If you're,
well,
I would say he has short-term memory loss. Like every day he wakes up, it's a new day. Like he has no idea what's going on.
51st
So he has a
days?
bunch of tattoos to explain who he is and how he's gotten to the points. That might be you. Who knows?
Oh wow.
Your short-term memory is. It's all right. Is it
strong
good?
As can be,
is it
brother.
good? Is it?
You know it,
Okay.
buddy.
All right.
Hey, I might mix a
All
few
right.
things here and now.
Okay.
I got a lot on
All
my
right.
mind, buddy.
Okay.
And then, by the way, you remember, most people have been living in their home and doing all that. I've kind of been living without my car and in a hotel for like a month. The fact that I've even been on the radio is a miracle. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. It's been a pain. But I wanted to make fun of this. LiAngelo Ball, 20 hours, sat down.
That's some serious ink, though.
Bro.
Full back tat. I mean,
but can
full.
I just also, it also shows, like, homie also needs to get in the gym because his back, like, dude, he needs to, like, beat the odds.
He's not
should
swole.
Be a lot smaller. He's not swole. Like, if you're going to get this much ink, I would think you would be without your shirt. Now, if you're going to be without your shirt, don't you think you need to actually have a decent body? Like, I ain't going to lie to you. Back in the day, I loved not wearing my shirt. I loved being tan, no shirt, thought I was sexy. Today, guess what? I like wearing my shirt till I get in the damn pool, okay?
Wait, you're not the guy who wears the white shirt in the pool?
No, I don't do that. I'm not crazy now. I just know I'm an old.
You struck me as the guy who wore a shirt in the pool, man.
Oh, hell no. Dude, I've got my nice swimming trunks, and dude, I mean, I know I got a dad bod. I'm a dad. I'm a granddad. Damn. But can I tell you this? Would you accept a dad bod who had a tattoo like that? And do you know what that's going to look like in 20 years if he doesn't start getting in shape? Where it says beat the odds, it's like going to be like right there where your tramp stamp starts. The face of the Grim Reaper, like the eyes are going to be up on one shoulder blade while the nose is down here by the middle of your back. Let me just tell you something, LiAngelo. I know Lonzo, I know LeVar, and I know pretty much everybody's getting more attention than you. But dude, this is the wrong way. In fact, go date a Kardashian. Whatever you do, though, don't you dare touch that dial. We'll be right back, and never forget, MemphisFarmers.com. This is Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches, 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland, or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Family Leisure's here to make staying at home more enjoyable for you and your family this summer. Complete pool packages starting at $15.99. 24-foot pools only $19.99. 4-person spas starting at $19.99. Swim spas starting at under $10,000. We are offering contactless purchasing, deliveries, and curbside pickup. Give us a call to schedule an appointment or to place an order. Stay safe with Family Leisure.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Yo, welcome back to Sports Time. Well, Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Sports Time, following me up. Wolo Stats going to drive you home because it is Friday. And yes, I am starting my weekend here in about, 9 minutes. Now, we were talking and I never got to all my football, so I'll save it till next week. But there is so much stuff that I wanted to talk about. I went through and did a whole thing, and then I got so mad when I found that somebody else did the research for me. But after about 5 teams, I stole my friend. It was Kevin Seifert, who detailed basically all the players that are coming back and the percentage of snaps from last year to this year. Believe it or not, this is going to mess you up. 88% of the snaps made on both sides of the ball. You got 95.4 on offense. You got 80 on defense. You got 23 starters, 10 on offense, 10 on defense, and 3 on special teams. Buffalo Bills bring most continuity, including the coaching, quarterbacks. I mean, McDermott's back for his 4th year. Coordinator Brian Daboll is his 3rd year. Leslie Frazier, he's the DC. It's his 3rd year. So if you talk continuity, I'm going to talk continuity next week, but I just wanted to surprise you. I don't want to break it all out because I'm going to literally do a great segment next week. We're going to talk about, the Browns. By the way, Kevin Stefanski looks like they're going to work Myles Garrett into this huge mega deal for him to stay there. By the way, it tripped me out. I was always wondering, damn, dude, wasn't he the guy before, I always was thinking, wasn't he the dude that GM the 76ers before Sam Hinkie? And then I realized, that's his dad, Ed Stefanski. So, yes, Kevin Stefanski is Ed's son. Did you know that, Gabe?
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Of course I did.
I guess
football lifers, basically.
See, I was thinking about the Stefanski who's over. Anyway, I'm an idiot. But anyway, point is, there's also Pete Carroll news I wanted to mention. I didn't really get to. We'll talk about it next week. Talking about Colin Kaepernick was too good to re-sign as a backup. Did you hear that by any chance?
I heard. No, I saw what Pete Carroll had to say. Pete Carroll said that he regrets not signing him in 2017.
Mm-hmm. Did you see one of the last things? That
I
he said
did not see the rest of that. No.
One of his excuses was he was just too good to be a backup. He was a starter.
Well, I bet at that point in time, the money that you'd have to pay him would be not worth a backup.
That's a very good point.
Especially behind Russell Wilson.
You're
paying how much? $35 million a year too.
Oh yeah, but it was early on they were talking about, so he was still on the deal. But yes, you couldn't have done both. I just thought it was fascinating because Pete does like to, after we get great news from Reggie Bush, he didn't get in any trouble with USC with all the Reggie Bush stuff. He just goes to Seattle. And everything, Pete Carroll is the Teflon Don. He always has a great smile. He has got a great personality, but it is amazing how nothing ever sticks to him. But I do have to say, it is pretty much time for me to go and get on out of here, but I got to tell you something very important. COVID-19 is obviously still real, still very real. End COVID-19, convalescent plasma has become the big thing. We need a vaccine. I want a vaccine to be here right now. I wish we had it. Then we wouldn't have to worry about baseball and football and basketball and these people being in domes. We would actually be seeing sports being played. We wouldn't have to wear masks when we went out. We don't have a vaccine, but we have found convalescent plasma helps. So if you've recovered, if you've had coronavirus and you're healthy, right now, you can save more lives than almost doctors. You can do heroes work is what I'm basically trying to say. And guess what else? You'll also get paid because if you call 866-END, E-N-D, CV19, that's 866-END, CV19, you could help end coronavirus because right here in Memphis, a lady just got released from the hospital a couple days ago. Another one was released. She was on a breathing machine for 2 weeks. They gave her convalescent plasma. 3 days later, my lady's out the hospital. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Look, we're still in the midst of this. And Plasma Biologics, I'm dead serious. You can't just show up, but call them at 866-END, CV19. We need convalescent plasma. We also need plasma, regular plasma. So anybody who's healthy and wants to help. And then don't forget, you could have had it and don't even know. So just call 866-END-CV19. That's 866-END-CV19. Save a life. Man, I could talk about so much more, but my time has come and gone. Wolo and Stats and Sports Time are coming up next. For Gabe Kuhn, I'm John Harden. Y'all get out there, make this world a better place. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.